Welcome back to the Got Her Back podcast. Hi.
Yes, I'm really enjoying doing this with you guys, by the way.
So, how's Spencer?
Oh, shit. Shit.
How's Spency?
Are we starting with this? That coming out of the gate?
I just think it's like my favorite story to tell right now. I was telling the girls at work yesterday. I was telling Gabe. I was telling Haley. I was like telling everybody. I just think it's so funny. And then like what happens? Then my boys act a fool.
So I got a call from the school.
Meg Chronicles.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Patty called me and she was like, I'm thinking Spencer's sick, they call her Princessa at school, like for princess. And so they call and she's like, Megan? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, Spencer's fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she was like, but she got in trouble today. And so I'm like, my head's not going to where she's about to take me, right? I'm like, I was like, okay, well, what'd she do? She goes, well, she got into a fight. And I'm like, a fight?
Like a fight?
Yeah. And so she was like, yeah, it was really bad. And I was like, well, how bad was it? She was like, well, she said that a girl touched her lunchbox and Megan, she picked her up and body slammed her and got on top of her and started punching her and then pulled her hair. And we had to pull her off of the girl. And I was like, what? I was like, well, that's, did she get in trouble? She's like, yeah, we pulled her in the office and she was super apologetic. And so, of course, when, I got home, she was with the babysitter and I just told her what my mother told us growing up. Like, if you get in trouble at school, you're going to get in more trouble at home. And she's like, but I'm just like, what in the world?
Do the face again. That is so Spency's face.
Yeah.
That night after it happened, we went to Sauced in Grapevine, and we were eating. We got her a little cheese bread, and I was like, Spencer, what? Why did you do that to the girl? This is all she would do. She like froze and she had the biggest smile on her face and she would just like awkwardly look like across the room.
I was like distraught and I was like thinking, where did she learn this? You know what I mean? And so and the little girl that she got into a fight with is so sweet and nice. And I was like,
you're like, not that girl. Do another girl.
Yeah. Like if it was this other girl, I'd have been like, well, she's put her hands on you. Like have at it, baby girl, but in my head I was thinking, so I called my Aunt Kathy and I'm like, Aunt Kathy, like, oh my gosh, Spencer got into a fight. Like I knew I was going to pay for my raisin, but she's freaking 4. Like, what am I going to do?
And she's tiny.
And she's the sweetest girl ever.
That's what I told Megan. I said, Spencer is so chill all the time.
Oh, my
Like,
gosh.
how?
She flipped a switch. And I'm not
Did she learn this on YouTube?
No, her mama can flip a switch, but she hadn't seen me beat anybody up. So I'm like, I don't know. But my Aunt Kathy reminded me. She's like, Megan, she talks like this. She's like, Megan, now you used to fight with your sister all the time growing up. Now think about it. Did someone teach you? And I was like, you're right, Aunt Kathy. Like nobody taught me. I guess you just,
it's
know
instinct.
how to do it. You know what I mean?
Animalistic.
And it always happens when you're that young, y'all.
Girl.
I've never had it happen when I was that young.
Okay. Funny story. I don't know.
Is this Maria's child?
But I was, I think maybe in the kindergarten or first grade, and this girl was getting on my nerves, like last nerves, and I could not handle it. And
did she touch your lunchbox?
No, I don't know exactly what she did, but I know I got in trouble. I only know snippets. So I know I got in trouble because, y'all, don't kill me for this, I stabbed her in the back with a pencil.
Oh,
I remember this story.
Gosh,
I did. And she was the principal's granddaughter.
Oops. Did you get suspended?
I can't remember.
How old were you, Maria?
I was in kindergarten, maybe first grade.
Not stabbed with the
They just
pencil.
took Spencer out of an activity, and I'm thinking, I don't think this is a big enough punishment. I'm like, well, if you need to send her home, she goes, no, we don't send them home because if that's like they know that they will get sent home, they'll fight all the time. So I was like, okay, smart. So I made her write an apology card and take it up to the
cute
school and like hug the little girl, and they hugged, and then she was with her dad and they saw her at the movies. I forgot to tell you all this. They saw her at the movies and the little girl come running up to her and they hugged. So I think the only thing I can think of is that there is another girl at school and she has put her hands on Spencer. She's kicked her. She's pulled her hair. And so I'm thinking that maybe Spencer had just taken enough and like snapped, but on the wrong person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she
Took it
was
out on the
probably
wrong person.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of. But
We've all done that before.
But can we talk about how our biggest fights are with our siblings?
oh my gosh. I was so mean. I was so mean to my sister. I was so
my
mean.
God.
I used to like put her in headlocks and just hit her.
Oh,
like this.
Stephanie, you would hit
Yes,
her?
I was mean. Like I
And
was
you were
mean.
younger.
Yeah, and I had this thing, like I would get in the car and she would be driving and she'd be driving us through Oklahoma City, and every time she'd be like, please let's not fight. And I would turn towards her, I'd get out of my seatbelt and I'd just start kicking her. Like I was so mean. I was so mean
So
growing up.
I, of course, was not mean. So I've never been in a fight.
But you were over here like,
I myself have never been in a fight, but my sisters, I have all sisters, they're feisty. So I've seen my two younger sisters go at it, like one just picking at her. And Chelsea, one time, she was doing stuff in her closet and she had just been picking on her. And Chelsea took a coat hanger and like broke it over her leg. Said, bring it, bitch. And started welling on each other, you know, and they were probably like 10, 11, 12, maybe.
So, growing up, I had, two older stepbrothers and they like fought like cats and dogs. And my mom was in the kitchen one day and she was doing dishes and she looks out the window and she sees Sean just laid out in the yard. And next thing you know, Shay comes running in and he's like, I hit Sean over the head and he's outside bleeding, knocked out. And so when Sean came to, he told my mom, he's like, and our dad drove up from work about that time. And I guess Shay had just gotten tired of the Sean.
He snapped.
And he snapped and he took like a metal piece off of an end table, like took it off and hit him with it. And when he hit him, it like cut his head open. He needed stitches, everything. But Sean woke up, he's like, Dad, it's my fault. I was picking on him. So like he did take the blame, but yeah, they got it.
As close as me and Sylvia are, and we're best friends, but we've been fighting with each other since we could walk.
Really? I figured
I don't
maybe.
know if you've noticed, but I have a crooked nose. Like I have a
it from
bumper in my
Sylvie?
nose. So when she was
I've never noticed your crooked nose
until now.
Until you just said that.
Hashtag
So
crooked.
yeah.
Okay, Sylvia.
When she was I started it. Her nose is crooked too. So when she was maybe 2 years old, and we're only a year and a half apart, I remember vividly pushing her down the stairs,
like
you tried to kill her.
purposely.
like purposely.
You tried to kill her.
and so that broke her nose. And so, like a decade later,
Okay.
we got into a fight, and
She
she
held
threw
it
a
in.
book at my nose, and it did.
She held on to that. She was like, I'm going to get your nose back.
We fought so much that one of our friends at the time in high school nicknamed us Scratches and Scrapes because we would always come up to
Are
school
you serious?
Yes. Sylvia will I used to she would come to school with bite marks.
How did your how did your mom deal with that?
She would be in the middle
Would
of
your
it.
mom, did it drive her
We used to
crazy?
fight all the time. It got to the point where I think one time it was really bad and she handed us knives. She was like, y'all hate each other, kill each other. So we were just standing at the hallway like this.
Am I going to actually do it?
You know, but she knew we weren't going to do it, but we were like, and we just
Did y'all start crying?
Yeah. We fought all the time at school.
When did
She
you
would be
grow
like-
out of it? What age?
My sister
I would
was
say
a-
as we got maybe after high school, that's how long
yeah,
it was.
because my sister, I can tell you, she never fought back. Like I just
She
pounded
never.
her. No, she never. Until her senior year.
Stephanie.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I can remember when she fought back and she got my ass. So we had this.
$1.
We had this coffee table, and it had like four glass squares. She got me underneath that, and I could see like my life pass before me. And she's just on top of me, shaking, and I'm screaming for my dad to help
She
me. I'm
snapped.
like, help me, and he's laughing. He goes, nope. She's never fought back. He's like, get her, Stephanie. Nope. And so like I break free and I like took off out the front door. We had this huge pine tree and I'm like running around the pine tree screaming, help me, she's gonna kill me. And like she had it. I mean, she'd taken it all those years. And
Oh,
she
man.
whooped my ass, but
You had it coming, man.
Because I left her alone after that.
You did?
I
So
left
that's
her
what
alone.
happened on vacation. So
Yeah.
my boys got into their first like squabble. I mean, they always pick on each other, but there's an 11-year age gap. That's a big age gap. But Kaysen's getting up in size. He's only 13, but he's almost 5'10". Brylan's like 6 foot 5'11", 6 foot. So they're like right there, but their size difference is substantial. You know what I mean? So I'm in the shower. We had a great day, and I hear like all this boom, 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 boom. And we had been hearing all that because the stairs were really loud and they were by our room. So we heard it constantly because the girls like played on the stairs the whole time. So I'm thinking, wow, they're being extra loud on those stairs. Did not think anything else about it. Came down. There was a vibe. I was like, what happened? And I hear the guys like whispering in the kitchen, and I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, Kaysen and Brylan got into a fight. And I'm like, what? Like, what? And they're not trying to give me any information. Brylan's like, nothing. I go up to Kaysen, nothing. Like, neither one of them will break. So finally, I have to threaten Kaysen, like, we're going home, pack your bags, blah, blah, blah. And finally, he like started crying and was like, well, I don't really know how it started. And the reason why he said that is because he was big fat liar right there. So I'm like, what do you mean you don't know how to start? Well, I don't remember how it started, but he punched me in the face. And so then I go down to Brylan and I'm like getting on to Brylan. Brylan's like, whoa. First of all, if I punched him in the face,
He'd have a thing.
he would have like a mark. Like, let's just be real. I mean, Brylan's like, goes to the gym every day. Like, come on. Kaysen's like 110 pounds. You know what I mean? Brylan's like, I don't know. So anyways, I get down to it and Brylan's like, he just keeps, testing me and saying he can take me. He can take me. Look how tall I am. I can take you. Look at my hands. I can take you. Look at my feet. Like, I'm going to be way bigger than you. So I think Kaysen's just getting to that.
And some balls.
Yeah. He's like, he's getting a mustache.
Wow.
Yeah. So Gabe actually asked him a few weeks ago, like, hey, like, if you need any help with that, like, let me know and I'll take you to the store and I'll help you. And he was like, actually, I'm just going to keep it for a little while. So I think he's just coming into that.
Know what, like, actually happened? Because Dee, Brylan's roommate, kind of told the whole story and I just kind of acted like I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
But like when you were outside with Brylan. So I guess like they were just like tit for tat.
Yeah.
And so then like Kaysen wouldn't leave him alone. He kept like antagonizing
Kaysen
Brylan.
would not leave him alone.
Right. And so then Brylan got him pinned him on the ground and was just messing with him and getting him on his face like, ha. Okay, you don't want to leave me alone? Ha.
See, they left that part out.
Yeah. And so Brylan was like, on his face, like just back and forth.
That's why he got so mad.
And so then he kept like saying, oh, you think you could take me?
And he flash
Here.
punched Brylan in the nose.
Well, he let him up and he was like, are you done? Well, Kaysen left and then come back and then hit him and hit Brylan.
In the nose with his fist.
I don't know if it was in the nose or the rib.
Brylan
first.
said it like stunned him.
Was it in the nose
First.
When did
He
get
said
hit
the
in
nose was
rib?
first.
Okay.
Is what he told me. He said the nose was first, and he was like, "Mom, have you ever been flash punched and you can't see?" I was like, "No, I've never been punched." Ever. I've never been hit, y'all. I tell you, God, y'all, it's like I'm so scared. And like I used to have nightmares that I would finally wail on somebody and it wouldn't do anything. Like they would just like, I'm like hitting them as hard as have you ever had that dream?
No.
Like that you're hitting, like I used to have this dream all the time that I would hit somebody as hard as I can and they're like,
You didn't do anything to me.
what are you doing? So that's why I've never been bold enough to do it because I have that dream. And so Brylan said that he did that. And then Brylan said he tried to call a truce and that he was like, no truce, and Weldon hit him in the ribs. Yeah. So I was like, yo, what? But then Brylan's like, Mom, us boys, we get over it in 5 seconds. Like, this is not going to ruin the vacation. Now, if we were girls, we probably wouldn't speak for like months, He's like, we're not girls, we're fine. So they like walk around the block, they hug, and then we had a great trip afterwards.
I went up in there and because she was telling Brylan that he needed to apologize, and Gabe was flipping out. No, you don't make him apologize. You don't let men handle it. We'll handle it. And I was like, Gabe, I'm like, just let the mamas handle it. So I go up and tell Case, and I'm like, he's just sitting in the room, and he was like, hi, Miss Megan. And I'm like, do you want to be the bigger person and go apologize to your brother? He's like, Yes, ma'am, I think I do. I'm like, okay, do you need some ice? Yeah, I think I do. Brylan open hand hit it. He didn't punch him. He opened, like after he hit him his rib, like he open handed and slapped him in the
I think they
face.
stunned each other back. Like,
Yeah.
And then
so-
they had a great trip. I was like, how do guys
Maybe
do
it's
this?
just kind of like the initiation. Like
It was like, I'm
this
gonna-
is where we draw the line.
Yeah, I said, if y'all want to do this when y'all are both adults,
Yeah.
great. Not 13 and almost 24. Like, I can't. Like,
Yeah.
this is not okay. You know what I mean? So I think it just like put Kason back in his little
I
place.
got my first fight, and it was in college. And so I was like thinking in my head when Spencer got into that fight, like, what in the world? Like, I mean, I did fight my sister, like, but that's like sibling stuff, you know, like I didn't get into my first fight. Like, I never got in trouble at school. Well, I think one time a girl pushed me and I just cried, like when I was like a junior or a senior,
Yeah.
you know, like I just went and told on her, but I didn't fight back.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, my best friend at the time, Kelly, she was like mad at this girl. She said that she was messing with her boyfriend. And so we were at the Club Trimmers, which is in...
Trimmers, not Tremors.
Yeah, in Stillwater. It's like next to Tumbleweeds. It's like the same building, the country
Trimmers and
bar.
Tumbleweeds.
Yeah. And so... It's like circa 1998, probably 98, probably. So the soccer girls and the track girls, we shared a locker room. And so we were pretty tight with the soccer girls, right? So the club lets out all night long. Kelly's just steaming, like, I'm going to beat her ass. I'm going to get her. And so I was like, okay, girl, do you, boo.
Kelly,
you know?
little Kelly.
Well, no, she could fight
I
her
know.
butt off,
The
right?
scrappy ones, the little scrappy ones are
little-
scary.
yeah,
Little scrappy
right.
ones.
So we get out there, and next thing you know, it's like 20 girls fighting. It's like, because the soccer girls, like, so this girl was like a local girl, and she didn't go to college there. She was like from Stillwater. So it's like the college girls didn't like the local girls. So it's this big, huge, and then soccer girls, you know, so everybody's
Soccer girls, local
I had
girls.
on a bandeau top, do you know, like
Tumbleweed
like
girls.
like literally, like it was like a bandana kind of, and it
The
had
bandeau.
Like, it had like a little string around here, a little string, and like crisscrossed in the back. So I basically had on like a handkerchief in the front and nothing in the back. And the girl that Kelly was supposed to be fighting tried to jump over a soccer girl. She put her hand on a soccer girl and like, you're me. She tried to jump over and hit me. And all the football boys were lined up against the wall watching. And I thought to myself in my head, it was like instinct. And I'm like, if I get my ass beat, I'm never going to hear it again from these football boys. And so she had long hair. When she jumped at me, I took that hair and I went and just started wailing on her like this. I was like 135 pounds.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did. I beat her ass.
You always
Beat
go for the
her
hair
ass.
first.
Yes. I did.
But
I
aren't
did.
you glad that like growing up when we grew up, there weren't like
Video cameras
Yeah,
and
our
social
consequences.
media.
Like our
Social media,
consequences
yeah.
were we had to pick up the beer bottles after like and put them in the trash. We had to go
Yeah.
back in the club and pick them up, and they were just like, "Girls, what are y'all doing?"
Because nowadays the fights that I see on social media,
They're serious. And
my
everybody
God.
films.
Yeah.
and it goes viral. Can you imagine like being the person that's getting beat up? Like you're literally done, not done, but like that's embarrassing. Like that should be illegal, don't you think? Like if you record that and you post it online, like
I think
first
it
of all,
should be.
It should be illegal. Like you don't have they're underage
Because
majority
it's
of the
agging
time.
it on more, and I think the kids are more mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're doing it for attention.
Yeah, the bullying is so serious. Like, it
Yeah.
just is like going too far. Like, with
I'm
these
glad
kids.
that there are like bullying, more acknowledgement now,
Yeah.
because there wasn't when we were
When we
younger.
younger.
No.
It was
Kids
just getting
are-
grown
Free for all.
tough. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
growing tough skin.
Yeah.
And these kids killing themselves over it. It's just so
Yeah.
sad. I just can't do it. Like, ugh.
I just feel like social media is on a whole different level. Like I just even see, things that I don't know if you guys saw this, but I posted something on social media. It was Maya buying her skincare, and a lot of it are little girls saying stuff. But if Maya's reading that,
What did they say?
it's just like, oh, this is cringe. Like she doesn't need this. She, like just some good stuff, some negative
but
stuff.
that's what the little girls are doing right now.
Yeah, but
They're
that's what I'm saying.
What's
And-
the worst thing? They go buy skincare, a moisturizer or
Yeah,
something.
and they're
Come
like,
on.
When I was her age, I was playing with unicorns and slimes, and But if it was Maya reading that, she would be in her feelings.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. She
So
would
can you
be
imagine-
embarrassed. She would be
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how do you prepare your children for Kids are mean.
I mean, adults are mean
I know,
and
but
kids
I feel
are
like
mean.
at least we kind of have a little bit of like a boundary. Some adults, but kids will literally say whatever comes to their mouth on the keyboard.
Yeah, that's true.
Taryn has not like got into social media. Like he does Snapchat, but he doesn't do like, he's on Instagram, but he's posted like 3 pictures and it was like, pictures he took, and he's actually a pretty good photographer, but I like, he hasn't got into it, but I'm like, I think that for Spencer and telling, 10 years from now what we're going to have, you know what I mean? When she's a teenager, but I think like for now, I would tell him to turn the comments off. Like if you see it's going downhill, like just turn the comments off and don't let anybody say anything.
That's what North, Kim and, North and.
Yeah,
like, she
I
has
think
no
they would
comments.
have to. I think they would have to.
Because what do you want, like.
I mean, when I first started my business and it started getting more popular and stuff, and we would do like lives and things like that, because we would do like FAQ lives and things like that. It would just be like crazy, like comments randomly, and we would see them passing while we're talking, and it sends you for a second. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, she has too much lip filler. Oh, too much Botox. Ooh, what's wrong with her? Blah blah. Just stuff like that, and you're like. Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you saying things?
Why are you here? Bandits. Yeah, and like and you go to their social media, they don't have a picture, or they have a picture of their fucking cat, or you know what I mean, or something stupid, and you're like,
why even say that?
Why even say, if it bothers you so bad? Why are you here?
But some people would say, well, it's on public social media, so it's open for.
And I'm sure y'all get it all the time.
I just have to learn. Like I've gotten good, because I used to, if anybody ever said anything like racist, you know what I mean, like on Facebook or whatever, like I would be like, try to educate them, and there's no talking to somebody that makes those type of comments. So I had to learn to just not say anything and delete them.
Just delete them.
But that took a long time and a lot of fighting back and forth and a lot of words for me.
And thankfully now Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, they have the restrict button, so they can think that they're typing something, and it looks like it's posted, but it's not really showing up.
Very true.
Utilizing that as much as possible, but. My kids are on social media, but they don't, like Maya doesn't have access to it. Marley doesn't. They're too young. I don't want them to read. But Tristan is on social media. But we've schooled him, on what, like, you shouldn't allow negativity to trigger you. Especially as you get older and as you become successful, there's always going to be more people that'll hate you more than they love you.
Yeah, if you're not doing something right, then you don't have haters. So he has to learn that. And when you get to the top, like my district manager for work, like had to teach me that. Like I had to get off all of the forums for insurance agents, because it's always the ones that suck the most and have a small book and they complain the most. And it's just like I don't have patience for that. Like I don't deal with that type of negativity well at all. And he's just like, Megan, like, when you get to the top, like you have to keep your circle small, and that's going to have to be the same for, like I know you guys will be good at teaching Tristan that, but I mean, that's the truth. Like if you get to the top and, people don't say anything about you, good or bad, then like,
It is what it is. Yeah. Trent did tell me, he said, it's so funny because you post something and there's so many good positive comments. And there's one negative one.
And that's the one you care about.
That's the one that you're focusing on. So I've come to the point where I'm like, you know what? If you're commenting on my page, you're welcome your words on my page. Engagement, negative or not, I'm not going to entertain you. You're not worth my 2 cents.
Look at it as dollar signs. Like the more engagement I have, like more money I make. Thank you, haters.
more manwich dollars.
Yeah, thank you. Make me go viral.
But it's so sad nowadays. But
it's like our post about
look at her car. That's what I was just about to say. Look at we had the one TikTok or whatever go viral, and we just spent.
Two of them go viral, but that one with the car went. Both of them did, but that one.
The hate on there was wild.
What man bought you that car?
If y'all ever want to go look at it, just go look at our TikTok or our Instagram and look at
it's doorman.
Yeah,
look at our.
You put up on my yard and hit my water sprinklers, we'd go to bat.
So basically, I didn't give a crap about that house anymore. I was like a week from moving.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be funny to whip her car in, and she like pulled all the way in my yard.
She has a really bad car, so it needed a lot.
Everybody went wild over you pulling onto my grass, like in the sprinklers. And I thought it was so funny.
Mom is a husband's working 4 jobs to pay for that car. No,
Who bought you that car? I'm like, I'm really offended by that right now.
I know. Like, can men give women their flowers?
Yeah.
Women can buy nice cars without having a man.
It's the same. Like when I talk about my divorce and they'll be like, well, how'd it go? I'm like, I had a post-nup. And they're like, oh, well, what'd you take him for? Like, how much money did you take?
That's the
and
question
I'm like,
she gets all the time.
It wasn't his money. I'm like,
I think people are always surprised by that.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like
the
they
hate.
think if it's a post-nup or a prenup, it's because the man's trying to protect from the
protecting him.
woman. I'm like, no.
Let's normalize giving women their flowers, you know, like women can be bad and can buy stuff like it's not because we have a man that could I can't maybe
Provide.
I do have a man that can
She's like, well, I do.
but you know
but you
what I
also
mean?
bring stuff to the table too.
It's I don't know. I just feel like men on social media are sometimes worse than women. Have you
They
noticed
can
how
be.
many men
Yeah.
commented on that post?
The men were so triggered by that post. I freaking
Women
loved
to me
it.
was like, besides the sprinklers, it was like, oh, I'm surprised she didn't come there with a bat.
yeah.
It was the men and the car.
That was the best. That was the best. I had one.
And it's like going viral again. Did you notice?
Yeah,
Because every time
I
go
had
onto Instagram,
one
it's like,
video go viral, like randomly. Like Maddie wanted to do a TikTok. We pulled over into a parking lot, and she was like begging me to do a TikTok, but I accidentally posted it to Facebook. Like when Facebook started with, what do they call them?
Reels.
Or whatever they call them something different. And it goes on Facebook and goes freaking viral like the next month. And people are like, oh my gosh, somebody give her a record deal. And like, oh my gosh, like I cannot believe that you're like trying to pimp out your daughter like this. And like, I'm like, are you serious?
like
Like
lip syncing.
it was, she was, remember she lip synced Mariah Carey perfectly. Like, I don't know how she did it, but everybody thought she was really singing it. And they were just like, some people, like, of course she got cute comments, but it was just people like hating too. Like they were they always talk about my lips. Like that's always going to be a subject.
I love your lips.
I know, but I don't have filler in my lips. But I'm never going to
She
go.
does not have lip fillers in her lips.
But
PSA.
But I'm not going to go on there and argue with people anymore because it
Yeah.
seems like I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you're battling with them. So I just let them say it. But I'm like, I don't know why my lips trigger people so much. They're like, you need to back off of that lip filler. I'm like,
People pay good money for those
I'm like,
lips.
I love Botox. I've had filler in my like cheeks. Like I'm going to tell you, I will tell everybody. Anything that I do, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like I have bought boobs, like, but if it was that, I would tell you, but I don't know why that was like a big topic on there, pimping my daughter out. They couldn't believe I would do that to my daughter and force her to do it. And I'm like,
jealousy.
she asked me to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember like pulling over in the school parking lot like one day and we had to learn it real quick. And it just, it's always one of the silly ones that go viral.
I'm not that type of person. If I have something negative to say, I'm not going to type it on.
Could you imagine? I would be
not.
embarrassed to be like, ew, you're pimping out your dog. Like what? It just goes to show you that it's their insecurities. So that's what I always try to tell myself is they're projecting.
Right.
So it does make you kind of feel bad for them, but I just leave them
Yeah.
there now. I used to delete them, and now I'm like, just leave them because I'm embarrassed for you. So I'm going to let everybody see like how stupid you sound. You know
I've
what I mean?
grown such thick skin these
Yeah.
past few years that I'm just like,
I can't imagine.
anything negative, I'm just like,
I used to get my feelings
bubble
hurt
wrap.
so bad. I used to get my feelings hurt so bad. And just through owning a business, through social media, through divorce, through everything. I just feel like I'm developing like a thicker skin every single year. I'm still very sensitive.
I've
but
learned that not everybody's gonna like you.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And
Cool. I don't need any more friends.
I don't need any more friends. I got my little circle right
But
here.
anytime y'all need help, let's just pull up. Like, you know.
Like Meg did in that truck.
Get on that truck.
On that dead grass.
There you go. Pull up.
We got to redo that one with your cyber truck.
Oh, we should totally do that.
Do it. I'm gonna zoom up in here.
You know what would be funny if we could pull up all of our cars and just
Zoom, zoom, zoom. We should, and then see what kind of comments we
kind
get.
of comments like, what
get it.
husband bought you that? I mean,
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
thank you guys so much for tuning in. Avoid cyberbullying. Avoid bullying.
It's not a good look.
No,
If you have nothing nice to say, just
don't say it at all.
anything at all. All right. Follow us on, did I already say follow us on Got Our Back podcast?
No.
I'm reiterating it again, just in case. Mrs. Maria Shelton.
Inspired by Carrie.
Meg's Unfiltered.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
Bye.